Here's that steel column that we're going to try and put in here, and we notice that it's kind of center lined on the 4, right? So it's kind of goes in this direction. So we've got ourselves oriented at how it has to be. Going back to SketchUp, so here's our 4. So our column grid is going to be like this, here, over, and here. And so we saw that it's going to be 8 inches wide, 9 3/4 in this direction, and then 7/16. All right, so we need to get ourselves some construction lines. T for tape measure. And again, 4 is here, so we're going to go from here, this direction, 4. And here, this direction, 4, right? That's our 8. Then from this direction, in this way, we're going to want 9 3/4. Well, that's going to be a little trickier. So doing the math, it's about 4 7/8. So from here over, 4 space 7/8. And over here, 4 space 7/8, enter. Just double check. From here to here should be 9 3/4, and from here down should be 8. And it is. You see that? That's using the tape measure just to measure. So that is the shape we'll have. I'm going to go ahead and make a rectangle out of it. Done. All right, so that's the outermost edges. Basically what I did is these outermost edges right here. Okay? So it looks here that the web thickness is 5/16. I'm not sure how that got to be 3/16. I think the number's not right, because half of 5/16 is 5/32. So we'll use that number. I'm not sure why. Apparently this, whoever this calculator is, doesn't go less than a 16th. So it's going to be 5/32. So click here, go this way, 5/32, enter. Click here, go this way, 5/32, enter. Okay, there it is. So the flange thickness is 7/16. Take a look here, 7/16. So from here over, 7/16. From here over, 7/16. Right? Because that's how the column is in this position, right? The flanges are here, and the middle portion, the web, is in this direction. And let's just double check ourselves here. So we'll take a look at this, and sure enough, here's the flange, here's the web, here's the flange. So right, the center piece is with the 4, and then the 2 ones are kind of parallel to the B. So we've got that. So coming back into this, I'm going to make myself a rectangle. From here, click to here, click, and then from here, click to here, click. I could have done a simple line all the way around, but with the rectangle, now I know I'm square, and I'm perpendicular, and I'm orthogonal, so we're all good. Erase that line, and that's basically it. At this point, we can just erase all those extra lines. So now we've got the shape here. I'm going to go ahead and push-pull it. They said 2 feet in the lecture, so we'll just kind of do that. And we're going to select it all. And then I'm going to go and get a kind of a gray color that looks like, like steel, and just paint the whole thing. And then triple click it, right click, make component, and I'm going to call it steel column. And we're going to make a new tag called steel column. And then also right click entity info and put that into the steel column tag. That way we can make it visible or not visible. Okay. So then the next steps is to make it not visible. So I'll just kind of make it not visible here, and use these grid lines to lay out the walls. So looking at the Bradley and Riley drawing on sheet 2.0, we see here is where we're going to get some more dimensional information of how these walls are going to go. And you can see here it says detail 19 and detail 20 in 9.1 will give us a good example. And we are doing 29.1, so that'd be perfect. We need to go there. So detail 19 and 20 will give us some dimensions. So if we look at this, these are the outside of the walls that we're going to be modeling, and this also will help us. This one helps us with the dimension on the column line 4, and this one's going to help us with the dimensions on column line B. So you can see that this will tell us how this wall's 2 foot and 5/8, and this wall will be 1 foot 3 and 5/8. So we'll use those dimensions to model this thing. So it might be kind of nice to have these in the same kind of orientation, so we can kind of look down on column line 4. This is column line 4 and column line B. So the first tape measure line, T for tape measure, I'm gonna grab here, click, go across this way, is 3 and 5/8. So 3 space 5/8, enter. That's that area there. Then from here, I'm gonna go in this direction, 1 foot. So that's how we got that. From here up, I'm going to go, again, go in the green. Looks like it's 1 foot space 5/8, enter. That's 1 foot, 0, 5 and 5/8. From here down, 1 foot. Now, we also have, on column 20, this information. So I know that from here all the way back in this direction, I'm going to go 3 foot 4 and then 8 and 5/8. So that's what I'm going to do here. Click here and go 3 foot 4. And then here, that direction, 8 space 5/8. So here we go. Now we've got our pieces. In the other way, we don't have a distance here. And the reason being is that this wall continues on. But I think in the lecture it said to go 2 feet. So from this line, we'll click here, we'll go here and do 2 feet. And we're going to say that's what we're going to do for now. We need to understand that's going to keep on going. So now I'm just going to do L for line, and I'm going to click here and here. Kind of work my way around. When I come back, it should close, and it's going to look something like this, right? I went here, 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 and back there. That's all I did. I'm going to make myself a couple of lines here, just kind of like placeholders. Again, we're not going to worry about that right yet. I'm just going to make some lines here for placeholders because I already have a dimension here. That's going to be where the window is going to be. That's the window. Then I go Edit, Delete Guides. So I've got basically the plan layout. Continuing to look at this, we have information on the sizes of things with this note. So we can see this is fire-treated 2x4 blocking on 1/2-inch fire-treated plywood. So that gives us the size of those members. And then that's attached to 3 5/8 metal studs. So we got metal studs here, and that's 1/2-inch gypsum board. So we've got all those pieces there. And this exterior, though, we have as 5/8, right? On both information, both here and here, we have as 5/8. And we're going to go 5/8 all the way around to this point, and then 1/2-inch inside here. And that's what it says here too, 1/2-inch gypsum board sheathing. See, we have to take a look at the information that's given to us here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this line, hold on the Control key, this one, and this one. F for offset. Go in and come in and type in 5/8, enter. So now I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to draw a line for right now from here to here. That's not the exact space we want it to be, but it'll be okay. We will adjust it later. P for push-pull. Tap the Control key, and we're going to click and go up 24, just like we did the column. So now that's our drywall. That is 5/8 inch. That's what this is going to be now. So I'm going to make a new tag called gypsum board. I'm going to make it like the lecture. And then I'm going to select this. I just did a window, right? I just did a window from left to right. Right click, make component. I'm going to call it gypsum board. So now we're ready to add pieces to this model, and we're going to grab stuff from the construction materials folder. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize this window here to see it better. We go to File, Import. Before we import, we're going to turn the steel columns on. We're going to go File, Import. And we've downloaded the construction materials folder from the session. It's in there with all the other module files. And what we're going to look at is the 8-inch and the 3 5/8-inch metal stud tracks. So we're looking for the metal stud tracks. And here's the 3 5/8 metal stud. Here's a stud track. So I'm going to click on this. And right now I'm just going to bring it in, doing import. And I'm just going to put it right here on the side. We'll go File, Import again. And we're going to get the 8-inch one. 8-inch metal stud track. Put that on the side. So we kind of have things kind of ready to go. Now, one thing to understand about these, we're going to be scaling them, but we're not scaling them in this direction, and we're not scaling them in this direction. The reason being is that these are things you purchase, right? And right now I'm just giving you a small piece so you can work on it in a model, but in reality, this thing's going to be as long as it needs to be. You can buy them at 10-foot lengths and so forth. So, so this direction, you know, it's going to be whatever it is for our model, but you can't change any other direction. All right. So I'm going to grab this one first. It's going to fit right in here according to the drawings. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to shrink this down a little bit here, make sure it's okay. Okay, then I'm going to zoom up to M for move. I'm going to grab it right here. Click. And then I'm going to grab this back corner right here. Click. So it should sit like this in here, something like that. Okay. S for scale. Grab the middle center and come up to here, because that's what the drawings show. And notice it doesn't quite line up perfectly here. Okay, so that looks good. All right, one down. For the next step, to put the studs in the metal track, we're going to want to have this not be visible, just like we wanted to get that out of the way, the column out of the way last time. Same notion here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the component, put it on the gypsum board tag, and make that not visible. So now we've got the studs here. Then we also want to take a look at the drawing. So we'll have a metal stud here against this area, and then one against the actual column. So now we're going to bring in the metal studs. File, Import, and we're going to scroll down to the 8-inch metal. There's the stud right there. Import, and I'm going to zoom up real close here and I'll just snap right to that corner right here. Click. Now in reality, they're not going to overlap like that, right? I mean, it's just for the sake of the modeling, we made it smooth. And so it just lines up better. And then also when we scale it, I mean, in reality, you know, it'll be the whole height. It'd be like 10 feet or something like that. So the different heights you can get of that. We're not going to scale it in this direction, right? Or this one. It doesn't come like that. They come in certain sizes and there's certain thicknesses. Move, tap the control key. I'm going to put one over here. Click. Q in the blue. Type in 90. There you go. All right. I'm going to move that over just a little bit. There. All right. Same thing. So now we've got that lined up pretty much like the drawing shows. So you can see, you know, how the drawing has the pieces there. And then this one, I'm going to do M for move, tap the control key, and I'm going to go all the way to this end. And then Q to rotate. I could also mirror, but whatever I do, I want to make sure it lines up back here, with flush in the back, and flush this way, which it does. And then I believe what they did here is just, we're going to move it, tap the control key, and go 16, because there's 16 inches on center. And then from here to here, it's not 16, but you'll see we're going to have to need a piece here. We're going to need a piece here because there'll be drywall gypsum board on this side, and we got to secure it somehow. But we'll get it back. We'll get to that in just a little bit. This one here as well. Move, tap the control key, 16. All right. So we've got that, and we've got that. And so now, this last one, we're going to see where we're going to put it. Make the gypsum board be visible. Okay. So I'm going to select this, move, tap the control key. Now I'm going to grab the middle here, the middle of this, click. I'll go over here to here, click. And that's how it looks like on the drawings. Okay. And then this one here, I'm going to go ahead, Q for rotate, click, type in 90, and M for move. I'm going to go ahead and move it in that corner. We want to make sure it's down and not underneath, right? We want to make sure it's down and flush with that and flush with that, this piece. And as for scale, click the middle center and go to this side of the gypsum board. So this is the smaller, the 3 5/8 inch track. If it's hard to do that, you can always make the gypsum board not visible, and then go to that line. You'll have that line there you can go to, but either way. And now we're going to go ahead and file import. We'll import that 3 5/8 inch metal stud. All right. Q for rotate. Zoom up tight. It's going to be a piece right here. Come across here. I can mirror this. I can rotate it, but it's going to look like this when it's done. Okay. Notice how that's laid out, and that, again, that matches. It matches this, right? We're all matching what the drawings show. So now it's time to maybe fix this area here. So I'm going to double click to go inside the component. And if you don't see this, then make sure you have view, component, edit, and that this is like this. And then you should be able to see that just fine. P for push pull. I'm going to go right flush with that, right? So I lined up flush with that. Then I'm going to push pull it out 1/2 inch. Because remember, the inside gypsum board is 1/2 inch. Draw a line from here straight down. P for push pull. Click and go to this point right here. And then I would draw, I would do a tape measure line here, maybe 0.5, L for line, click. Go straight down, click, and again, P for push pull, click. And this time it goes all the way to here. It goes all the way to there. And notice there will be a little gap here, and that's okay. And then once you get it there, come out another 1/2 inch. L for line, tape measure here first, tape measure. Go over in the green, 1/2 inch. L for line, go straight down, P for push pull, and come across. Now, when you do this, this should be touching. This should be touching, and this should be touching, right? So that's the interior part. Now, at this part, we had an extra line here. I'm just going to use the eraser tool and erase it if you have an extra line there. It doesn't need to be there. All right, so we've got that piece in play. Let's go ahead and, while I'm thinking about it, let's get out of here and select this piece and this piece. M for move, tap the control key, and then put it right here. I don't know if the lecture did that by now or not, but so now we've got our pieces there. I can grab this track here, S for scale, click, come out to here. All right, so like this, M, tap the control key. I'm going to click here and kind of go in this direction in the red, 16. And that's all I'm going to get, right? It keeps on going. And again, remember, this wall keeps on going. All right, so let's go to Edit, Delete Guides. Again, we don't need those guides, so we can get rid of that. The lecture continues with importing the BR installation. File, Import. BR installation. Now we just kind of click here and kind of go into here. And so this came out a little bit further. So if you want, you can just kind of pull this out a little bit further if you want, or you can just leave it like that too. Remember, because this wall keeps on going, so if it hung out a little bit more or less, it's not a big deal. And then what the lecture wanted you to notice was that there's insulation in here and insulation in here. That would have to be in place before this drywall came up, before the gypsum board came on here. So just kind of be aware of that in construction. They have to kind of be aware that had happened to get that insulation in there, because that's what it shows on the drawings. Make a new tag. I'm going to call that insulation. And then make sure that this is in the insulation tag. Okay, so the next one is what they would do in real life. They'd have a piece of plywood and they would cut it down to create smaller pieces. So we're going to do File, Import, and 4 by 8 by a 1/2 inch plywood, because it was a 1/2 inch plywood thickness. And it comes in here and it just becomes, it's a huge little piece here, right? I'm going to double click to get inside. T for tape measure. Click and go along in the red. Type in 3.5 and then draw a line. Draw a line. Click, click. Imagine that being a saw run there. P for push pull, and it goes away. And so now this piece is 3.5 inches, which is what you want it to be. Let's go ahead and make a tag called plywood. And let's go ahead and put this in the plywood tag. Well, select. Let's get rid of the tape measure line. Edit, delete guides. Q, and we want it rotated in the red. Click, click, and we'll go up 90 degrees. M for move. Click back here, and then you want it to line up right with this edge right here. So, and then double click, and you just use the push pull. Click, click, there. And then again, this keeps going up. This keeps going up. So this is just kind of doing it this way here, just to make it fit in the model and make it look good. Then we go File, Import, and we're going to do a 2 by 4 by 8. That's a 2 by 4 piece of wood. There it is, and I'm going to go ahead and rotate it in the blue. I'm going to move it in position, and then we can either scale it or use push-pull to get it down to size. So imagining we're using a table saw or something, some sort of saw to cut it down. Let's go ahead and File, Import. So all these pieces are already kind of laid up for you. You have to just bring it in, and it's the B-R CMU. The reason I said B-R for these is because that's for Bradley and Riley. That's a special. And kind of click there. So it should look something like that, and should fit nicely onto the model. Again, if these didn't quite go the whole way, that's okay. We know they do that. We know they do that. All right. And I would go ahead and make a CMU tag. So again, make a new tag, call that CMU. CMU means concrete masonry unit. And let's go ahead and put that in there. What's nice about this is if I need to get back in there, I can make these things not visible as needed. And actually, we should probably do the wood stud too. Let's make the one for the wood stud too, now that I see that. And make sure that the wood stud is in the wood stud. tag. As I was doing the wood stud, I realized I did not do the metal studs as a tag as well. So I'm just going to make everything already here not visible. And that's all the metal studs. They were never put into any sort of tag, so I'll have a new tag called metal studs. And I will just select these and put them on a metal stud layer, put them on a metal stud tag, and then I'll select these and I'll put them on a metal stud tag. All right. And this here, we really don't need anymore. You're welcome to erase it if you want. It doesn't really matter because we have all the dimensions and stuff we have. I'll leave it up to you. I'm going to make everything back to being visible again. And so for the window, we'll go File, Import, and go look for Novak window. And we're going to zoom up. It's going to snap in right here. That's what that line is there for. That's where the window lines up. We're going to select this, right click, unlock, move it from here all the way to the top, right click, lock. So now we've locked it. And now we can continue with the rest of the project by creating the scenes and getting the views, both looking this way, and then looking downwards as a camera parallel projection. So that looks like you can compare that with the drawing.